All right, how did you do with your masking? How did things work out for you? This is how I wound up. It isn't absolutely perfect, and I didn't spend a massive amount of time on it, but I wanted to make sure that I got the windows in there, that all the windows were complete, even way down there in the back, these little tiny bits there, and underneath the wheels and all that kind of stuff. So got it all cleaned up and looking half decent anyway. So now the big question is, now that we've, created this perfect layer mask, what are we supposed to do with it? Well, there's a couple of different things that we can do. Let me show you this. I'm going to head up to the layer menu once again, and then back down to layer mask, and we have some options here. I could delete the layer mask, I suppose, if I wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and choose that, and basically what that does is that takes us all the way back to where you and I started, with all three trucks and no layer mask. Right? So you could do that, I suppose. I'm going to undo that, though. Control or Command Z on my keyboard. What else can we do here? Well, I'm going to head back up to layer and then down to layer mask. We could also choose apply. Now, let me show you this. I'm going to go ahead and choose apply. And basically what that does is I guess you could think of it as flattening. It flattens the layer mask down onto the blue truck layer. So we no longer have an editable mask. I can never pull that masked content back. That masked content has now been deleted, right? And as a matter of fact, I never actually apply a layer mask like this because I like having that editability, right? So I'm going to undo that as well. Once again, Control or Command Z, and there we have the layer mask back again. The other thing I can do, if I go layer and then back down to layer mask here, we can unlink. This is kind of weird. Let me show you this. I'm going to choose unlink. And what that does is that removes the chain link between the layer contents, and the layer mask. So check this out. With my move tool selected here, I'm going to click and drag, and I can actually move the mask around on top of my image. Think of the mask as like a cookie cutter almost, right? Which is kind of bizarre and weird. I don't know why you would want to do this. I've never had a case where I'm like, oh, if I could only move the layer mask. It's never come up for me. So, I mean, you could certainly make use of it if you wanted to. But anyway, that's another possibility. What we can do, by the way, is we can just click between the two layer thumbnails to link or unlink them as well, rather than heading up to the menu. Let me show you something else as well that we can do. I can go layer and then of course back down to layer mask. We have one more option here, which is disable, and all that does is it temporarily disables the layer mask. It shuts it off for us. And as you can see inside the layers panel, this massive red X kind of crossing out the layer mask there. Now, if you want, what you can do is you can hold down Shift and you can click on that guy as well to enable or disable them. Okay? So again, it's non-destructive, which I really, really like. So I think I've pretty much shown you all the ins and outs of working with your layer masks, a couple of different ways to create your layer masks. Don't forget, you can create your layer masks either from absolutely nothing, which is how we started, or you can start things off with some kind of a basic selection. It doesn't really matter what kind of a selection you start off with. And then it's all about the paintbrush, painting with solid blacks, solid whites. Don't forget, you can use your other selection tools as well to help you fill areas as well, either with solid black or solid white. And then, of course, we're finishing up here just with a couple of extra nifty layer mask techniques.